Good morning. You can't see me on camera because I thought I'd film the scenery rather than myself this morning. A bit worse for wear. So, welcome to day 2 of my little mini trip. Yesterday we went to Amazonia, which you will see some footage coming up. It was a really good day, and then I nipped off to Cromer. Technically, Amazonia is in Cromer. It's about 15 minutes from Cromer itself, which is walkable because I walked it just about. We spent maybe an hour and 15 minutes in Cromer, picked up a couple of knickknacks of seagulls mainly, and a present for my son. And yeah, came back last night, went for nachos on the pier, always a good thing. And then I went to a couple of arcades, and then I turned in about 9:15, 10:15, and turned in. But yeah, we are currently heading towards Britannia Pier, and I am heading right down to the pleasure beach. Bit of a walk, about 30-minute walk, depending on who you are. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more if you've got a pushchair and kids. And we are walking down to Britannia, then to Wellington, and then to the pleasure beach. When we get to the pleasure beach, we are going to go on a roof open top clipper bus, which does the seaside lap between the pleasure beach, Britannia Pier, Seashore, Haven, Caister, and you end up in Hemsby. We're going to walk on the beach for a little bit. I haven't walked on the beach for a while, but we're going to have a tiny walk. So this is Britannia Pier, then you have Wellington Pier, and then you end up, if you walk right the way down, you end up in North Deans. I think it's called North. I get confused between North and South. And you end up walking to the pleasure beach. And by going to the pleasure beach, you can get on a clipper bus. You can also get on the clipper bus at Britannia Pier and the Seashore and Caister. And you can also get the clipper bus from Hemsby to Yarmouth, up until about, I think the last bus back from Hemsby is like 20 to 5. But it is the off-peak bus. When it's peak, I think you can get back until like 8 or 9 o'clock. There is a timetable, so you can go and check that. I'll see if I can put a link. I have the timetable on my phone, so there are 2 timetables technically. There's a peak and then there's an off-season. Now technically we're like a week away from peak season, so we'll have a bus every hour back from Hemsby's, and then in the summer it's like every half an hour. So honestly, it's not that much. So I've been to Hemsby quite a few times, and it's one of my other favourite places along the coast because it has quite a lot to offer. It's got amusements and ice cream and other stuff, so it is quite interesting. The beaches, someone was asking about the beaches here. They're quite stony. It's a really stony beach. If you go up and down North Norfolk, each beach is different. If you go somewhere like Hunstanton, you've got like all the mossy covered stones and stuff. And if you go to Hemsby, their beach is actually quite nice. It's obviously not as big as Great Yarmouth. I'm not sure if Great Yarmouth has the biggest beach along the coast. I'm going to assume so, because it's not called the Golden Mile for nothing. But there is Britannia. So that building there, although there is the nightclub at the back, the actual central part of it is used for theatre productions, comedy shows that run throughout the summer, things like Jimmy Carr, Jim Davison, Michael Jackson impersonator, Queen impersonator. They've had Shawaddy Waddy there. I don't know if they're there this year. They've had things like Cannon and Ball and stuff like that back in the day. I think they got a Tina Turner act this year as well. Obviously she passed a few years ago or recently, can't remember. But yeah, I don't know if you can see it there. You got Queen, Tina Turner, Jimmy Carr. Oh, they've got Shorty Woody. Oh, Sarah Milligan, not a fan. And King of Pop. And then they got Chubby Brown, which my nan and granddad used to love to go see. And they've got Shorty Woody. I thought they would have. That'd be my mum. And then you've got Jim Davison, which is strange because he actually owned or did own at one point, he owned the Wellington Pier. I don't know if he still does. Here's underneath the Britannia Pier. You know, if you actually slept under here at night, I bet you'd be really warm and dry. Especially if you slept if you were homeless and you slept down the end there, I bet you'd be really warm and dry, to be fair. Maybe not so good in the winter, you know, the wind-swept sand and everything. But I thought I'd take you under a pier for a change. It's not very often people go under piers, you know. If you're kicking a football around, you might knock it under a pier, but you don't directly aim for piers. Although it's really nice under there, especially if it starts to rain on the beach. Just head under the pier. The sand down this side is a bit different. Now, each side of this beach seems to be a bit different. That side, as you head towards what we call South Deans, turns into conservation for birds and stuff. It's more hilly, it's more grassy. That side is all more stony. This side is what I call light dusty sand. Let me just show you. We're talking feathery dusty sandy, like a light sand. The further you go that way, you turn into a stone beach, and then further along you turn into a conservation beach, which is where they have the dunes, which I filmed when I stayed at Haven a couple of years ago. I am planning another trip in October. I plan to stay at Vauxhall again. I actually have a friend coming with me when I stay in October at Vauxhall, so we're going to be the deadly duo. I've got a friend coming. I'm not sure who else yet, but should be staying at Vauxhall for, I think it's 4 nights. But that's in October. And I don't know what I'm doing before then. I am going away for my birthday, but I'm staying in Norwich for that, so there won't be much footage of Norwich, apart from maybe some pictures. I do hope to go to Cosmos for my birthday, which is a all-you-can-eat buffet restaurant, which is quite nice. So we're going to keep going. I don't know if I'm going to film all the way down to the pleasure beach because it's quite a way, but we'll go for a bit longer. And they even have an honesty box. Look, Borough Toys Bring Back. You ever seen such a thing? If your kid forgets their bucket and spade. I think that's quite nice. I doubt many people bring this stuff back though. Obviously you had the diner that I showed you yesterday. I didn't show you the fact that they've got seating out the back. And they also do takeaway as well. So if you want to come and eat your food on the beach, you can do. Obviously, still no horses. Horses don't tend to come out until it's really busy. They have a grace period of December to May half term, where they you get the occasional person come out midday-ish for a few hours, but honestly, you don't get a lot of horses during this time, and it's pretty good, to be fair, because all they'd be doing is just standing there, and I don't like the idea of that. You know, if you're going to bring them down here, I guess at least they're having a walk. If it's the quiet season, they're just standing there, you know. So these are the inflatable places. So during the summer, you get all the inflatable bouncy castles. It's called Wobbly World. You get the inflatable bouncy castles. You get the inflatable slides and all that. My kids used to go on them. There's a little train. Let me just show you. It'll be coming along. There's the little choo-choo. Now that little choo-choo goes as far as Haven and goes right the way down to the pleasure beach. And it runs from like 8 in the morning, I think it is, right up until, I think it's 6, either 5 or 6. It does run later, obviously, during peak season. Off season, it tends to have a shorter stint. I can't remember. I think it's $2.50 one way from one end to the other. Although, you know, with inflation and that, they may end up having to put the prices up. Then you get Mr. Wobbles. So you've got Wobbly World and Mr. Wobbles. This again is inflatables and slides during peak season. I'll have to bring you down here during peak season so you can see everything in like its full glory. As you walk down the seafront, you get all your little snacky bars and that. Ice creams, and especially for the parents, coffee. You do get beach hire as well, which is deck chairs, sound loungers, windbreaks and parasols. If you're only down here for the day and you didn't fill your car up, or God forbid you forget something like the kitchen sink, I've actually stayed in there and had lunch. It was actually quite nice. I had breakfast. But you get the beach stuff that you can hire. It's a very small thing. People do hire deck chairs and stuff like that. In the summer, there is, I don't know how accessible the beach is disabled wise. You'd have to look into that more. There you've got the Pirates Cove golf, which is pretty cool. A lot of people come down here for the golf. Nothing like mini golf with your friends. I've played it many a time with my sisters. It's a real hoot. Obviously, the beach during the summer, they do have it's a beach volleyball tournament where they put nets up. This is the beach volleyball post, just in case you're wondering. Someone had asked before what the random posts were in a video. In other videos, they were beach volleyball nets. I know, it's weird, right? There you have the new flumes, not log flumes, that's Pleasure Beach, although that's gone now. The flumes for the new Marina Centre, which has a gym, a kids play area, a cafe, 2 or 3 different pools, tennis court. I mean, they have, see, there's the beach volleyball. So you get into volleyball, see, which is what the nets are for. They actually have competitions in the summer, I believe, that you can come and watch. Along the front, obviously, what you're not seeing is all the arcades and all that. Everybody knows Yarmouth has got arcades. Maybe I'll film going down there one day. Then you got the little fishermen down there. Got the little people, I don't know if you can see them, with the little fishy rods. I don't know how good the fishing is down here, if I'm really honest. I don't know. I believe morning fishing is better because the sea's a bit calmer. But I've never really heard anything about the fishing. But I guess if you've got a nice peaceful morning, the beach is empty because obviously all the kids are back at school now. I guess why not try it? There was some boats out here last night that were lit up, but they've obviously been allowed into port this morning, which is the new port down there. The new Great Yarmouth Quay port, I think it's called, where all the boaties go. And it's a really busy harbour now. I don't think people understand just how busy Great Yarmouth Harbour is. But you see boats constantly. There's a boat, I don't know if you can see it, right the way out there. There's a boat there. There's always boats like waiting to dock, because obviously they can't all dock at once. It's a very small port, really, for the size of boats that come in. Now I can show you the pool because currently there are no people in here. But you get the little flumes there, which is where the slides come in from the outside. And then you've got this little kiddie bit. I don't know if you can see very well. The kid part, where you've got a tiny little flume. And then you've got like slides. And then you've got, I don't know if you can see it up there. You've got like a bucket that drops on the kid's head, kind of like you get at Legoland, if I'm honest. And then in that part, in the part over, you've got what I call a lane pool, where you swim up and down. And then the bit next to that is what you call the main pool. So everything for the swimming is like near each other. So if you're like me, when I went with the kids back at the old Marina Centre, it was all close to each other. Obviously, my kids don't swim now because apparently they're too big. Could you be too big for swimming? You know, they'd rather be out and about on a beach or something. They're not really swimmers. But it's a really nice building. Up there, you got all your gym. I'm not going to show it because people are working hard. And then you've got these climbing walls and that. And rope ladders. I've actually done climbing walls and that back in high school. One of our classes was actually climbing walls, would you believe? I don't think most schools do that. But we used to climb walls during our PE lessons at the leisure centre. And then we were able to swim because we had a leisure centre right next to our school. So that gave us the advantage of being able to swim, being able to do a climbing wall, compared to other schools, because we had it right next to each other. And there you go, look. Marina Centre. Now, I haven't been in it. The only thing I've done at the Marina Centre so far is I went in their cafe. And I weren't very impressed. But, you know, they've only been open maybe 6 months. So, you know, massive car park. If you're coming down here by car, you've no end of parking. Although, hopefully people use the parking if they're going to the leisure centre and don't just willy-nilly park. Which would be great. And then, obviously the parking hopefully is being used by the leisure centre. So plenty of parking. Although when we come down here, we're coming by bus or by train, so I won't have to worry about a car. Or parking, because parking isn't that bad in Yarmouth, to be fair, price wise. It depends how long you're staying, obviously, you know. And then you've got the big wheel, which is the draw for Yarmouth. I've been on the big wheel a few years ago, maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and I was terrified. I'm actually scared of heights, in fact. So it weren't good, but yeah, we're never going on that again. Sorry. It's too high and too rickety, and I'm actually terrified of heights, but, you know. So we are about halfway. We're about halfway to getting to where we want to be. It's quite a walk. It's a leisurely walk, mind you. I mean, I could walk quicker, but my camera would shake. So there's the wheel. Obviously, up close, it looks mammoth. Here's another Golf. This is Palmer's Golf. It's got more of a beachy, nautical theme. hence all the lighthouses compared to the Pirates Cove. This is a bit more, I would say, easier, more kid friendly. I think the other ones are more based for like adults, if I'm really honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and we're going to call this part 1, and I'm going to film part 2 from Wellington to Pleasure Beach, and hopefully make the bus. So like and subscribe, thumbs it up, support the channel, PayPal, Super Chat, Super Thanks, become a member. Look at the view, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.